party.
It's not as offensive as this one. And creepy shit. So his own fat ass.
I like to party.
What a 15-year-old would think is cool or funny.
A 10! A 10! A fucking 10!
What is that, velvet?
Howdy folks, welcome back to the Avarice Podcast channel. So, I was watching the original Halloween from 1978 yet again the other day, and I noticed something that seems to be overlooked. At least I've never really caught it before. It is a fairly significant detail, yet very easy to forget about. And that is the entire reason that Laurie and Michael ever see each other, that Michael ever sees Laurie, is because she comes to his house. Why does she go to Michael's house? To drop off a key. Why does she go there to drop off the key? Because her dad's a real estate agent and he asked her to, because somebody is coming by the Myers house tonight to look at the house. Who was that person? That never gets mentioned again for the rest of the film. It is a very crucial kind of inciting moment where if her dad doesn't ask her to do that, possibly her and Michael never cross paths and her life goes a totally different direction. But does that person ever show up at the house? Because I believe that she says, or he says that the person's going to be there at 7 or 7:30.
They're coming by to look at the house at 10:30. Be sure to leave it under the mat.
So I have to think that the proceedings, what happens in the film, runs later than 7:30 p.m. So did the potential buyer show up and Dr. Loomis was outside and told him to get the ass away from there? Or who exactly was it? I have a video on my channel. It's totally tongue-in-cheek. I don't even fully believe it, where I point to little inconsistencies or things that suggest that it's possible that Dr. Loomis was involved in Michael's escape and kind of setting this hurricane loose on the town. I'm not saying that I believe that that was the intention of John Carpenter in any way, shape, or form. I don't think that that's the way that Donald Pleasence was playing the character. I don't think that was in anybody's head back then. But if you watch my video called The Nefarious Dr. Loomis, there are some things there that if you were conspiratorial minded, you could weave together and build a semi-plausible case for Dr. Loomis being involved in some way, shape, or form in the creation of Michael, the reason that he escaped, the reason that he goes to the Myers house. So, if you follow along that course of thought, what if Loomis set up this, quote, house showing? Loomis calls and says, I want to look at this old house you've got for sale. Mr. Strode doesn't know who the fuck he's talking to. He goes, oh, great, the house has been on the fucking market forever. Can't wait, I'll make you a great deal. So Loomis says, no. Loomis tells Myers to meet him at the Myers house because for some reason that's the first place, not the first place Michael goes. Michael first stops at the hardware store and gets his supplies. Maybe Loomis told him to do that too, but Michael goes to his house when he breaks out. He's waiting there until Laurie comes and then he gets distracted and he's off on his murder rampage. When Loomis gets to Haddonfield, the first place he goes to look for Michael is the Myers house, and then he waits there for him like it's some kind of plan, like he's expecting Michael to be there. So what if Dr. Loomis called up, talked to Laurie's dad, said, hey, stepdad, whatever, said, I want to adopt a dad. I don't know what she calls Mr. Strode. Dr. Loomis calls Mr. Strode, says, hey, I want to look at the house around 7:30 tonight. And he says, great, I'll leave a key under the mat. And it's just a way of Loomis kind of getting the ball rolling. He knows that somebody is going to have to come to the house to drop off the key and that Michael is going to be there and that he's going to see them. he has a better understanding of the nature of Michael and what he's really about than anybody else, and maybe he just knew that as soon as Michael saw her, it was going to be off to the races from that point forward. Again, I have to reiterate, I don't actually believe that this is what's going on, but I thought it was an interesting thing, and you can't deny the fact that a potential buyer of the house was brought up at the beginning of the movie and then never addressed again. If it wasn't Dr. Loomis, was it Ben Tramer's parents? Was it Lonnie's dad? Like, who was interested in buying that house? Because I believe that they're trying to imply that the town, the kids, everybody thinks it's kind of cursed. It's haunted. Nobody has wanted to live there since Michael killed Judith 15 years earlier. So who was interested? You know what I'm saying? In a small town like that, if everybody is afraid of this house and everybody thinks this house is cursed, what random person would be suddenly interested in having a blind viewing of it? Are they calling from out of town? They didn't see it on apartments.com. I just thought it was an interesting question to pose, and I don't have a definitive answer for it. So hopefully that's not what you were looking for. But it's a fun thing to ponder. If you have a suggestion of a way that you think that we might be able to close that loop, I know it's insignificant, but it is a bit curious at the same time. Like, who the fuck was going to look at that house? I really want, like, I know I will never know. I'm sure that John Carpenter doesn't even know. It was just a way to get Laurie to the house. It's just an insignificant, just how are we going to make it so that she runs into him? Oh, well, her dad's a real estate agent. He was going to sell the house, so she just goes and drops the key off. Boom. I'm sure that's all the thought they gave it, and they didn't care about who the potential buyer was, because by the time that point in the evening arrived, we were going to be off paying attention to other shit, and nobody was going to be care. But now looking back on it, I really would like to know who wanted to look at the house. Anyway, hopefully you liked this bullshit video. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.